Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy, the Anime Amber here, coming back at you with part 38 of What If Naruto Was Like Minato, otherwise known as Return of the Flash on Wattpad. And if you want to read the story for yourself or don't like the way that I narrate things, that's totally fine and acceptable. Link in the description will bring you there. Also, links in the description will bring you to the Discord server, Instagram, and then Twitter if you want to reach out to me or if you want to have a conversation with me or something. Probably when I'm not on hiatus like last time. Then that's the way that you're gonna want to do it. I do respond to comments, like I'm about to say next. I like, comment, and subscribe. I respond to all comments, heart all comments, and like all comments when I see them, or when I'm available and able to respond to them. I try to respond to every single comment that I get, not just the ones that I see. I try to respond to everyone. I go digging for them a lot. So yeah, and honestly, guys, sorry for being gone for so long. I might make a video, I might not, talking about why I was gone for so long. Who knows? But yeah, without further ado, let's get right on into the video. Alright, so for you guys, this is take one, but for me, personally, this is take two. So, without further ado, let's get right on into the video. Hiruzen had gathered the council for a meeting to discuss the rather surprising offer he had received from Sunagakure for the renewal of their alliance. After he dissolved the civilian council, what remained was the various shinobi clan heads, and the elders, Hamura and Koharu, along with Danzo as well. After reading the scroll out, he put it down, gauging the reactions of his council. Koharu quietly commented, "This is certainly interesting. It seems our esteemed colleagues in Sunagakure wish to make amends for their foolishness." Hamada snorted. "Of course they do. Recent reports suggest that Iwa is testing their borders. If they don't make amends with us, Iwa will crush them. However, we cannot let Iwa get a strategic advantage such as that, even if we have another Flash among us now." Oh shit. I just choked on my words. Excuse the language. Sorry. Surprising everyone, Donzo spoke up. "It would be in our best interest to accept." Upon seeing the rest of the council look at him in mild shock, he smiled internally and continued. "As you are all undoubtedly aware, I would prefer to simply crush them outright for their betrayal. But circumstances argue against it, since we cannot punish them without drawing attention from other countries, especially Iwa. I see no harm in accepting a deal that befits Konoha far more than Suna." "Logically, you're correct, Danzo-san." Aburame Shibi droned in the usual Aburame monotone. "This offer does seem to be to our advantage, but I find your stance puzzling. You've always petitioned for Uzumaki to be trained by you as a weapon. Accepting this offer would seem to directly counter the position you've held for nearly half a decade." Danzo considered how to respond and replied, "It is true that I wanted him to be trained as a weapon." Hiruzen picked up on his friend's choice of words. "Wanted?" Danzo knew what context his old rival was talking about. "Yes, wanted. At first, I had worries that he would grow up to be a weak, average shinobi, or worse, a straight idiot. But he has proved his strength in the invasion, stopping a tailed beast very effectively without resorting to his own. He's the second coming of his father." That was all he needed to say on the subject. It was a well-known fact just how much Namikaze Minato was feared. While the short term he was Hokage, no nation dared to move against Konoha. If Konoha had someone who was just as powerful as the Yondaime, he could sleep without worry. Moving on. Hiruzen cleared his throat. "Sunagakure is now offering the daughter of their late Kazekage, and by all reports a powerful kunoichi in the making, to marry Uzumaki." He smiled grimly. "I suspect that Suna has discovered the boy's heritage." "Troublesome," muttered Shikaku. "If they hadn't discovered Uzumaki's heritage, this deal would be completely in our favor. I remember this Tamari girl from the exam. She seems to have a good head on her shoulders. On top of that, she's proficient in wind style user, which is quite rare in Konoha. The deal is evened out if they know Naruto's heritage. Marrying the children of two Kage will produce exceptionally powerful children. Not to mention the fact that Naruto is the Kyuubi Jinchuriki, and his children will no doubt be influenced by its power. But they don't know that. Everyone sat back to consider his words and examined the agendas behind the offer. Hiruzen, meanwhile, was contemplating what effect would this have on Naruto. He was asking for a lot from Naruto by asking him to do this. He was sacrificing the boy's chance at love by arranging a marriage for him with a person he didn't know. A huge weight suddenly made itself known on his shoulders, and he sighed in sadness. Sometimes he hated being the Hokage. Decisions such as these, putting the good of the village before his shinobi, made him sick to the bone. He knew Naruto would never forgive him for this. Let me get a sip of water real quick. You guys should do the same, actually. Yeah. Good. Listen. Drink your water. Hydrate yourself. And stay safe out there. Your boy failed. I'm sorry, guys. I failed you. I didn't hydrate myself well enough. That's why I got ill. That's why I'm ill right now. But you know what? I will push through and finish this video for you guys because I owe you this video. It's been far too long, and I apologize for all that. So without further ado, I apologize for the little break. Let's get right back on in, alright? Jinchuriki and his children will not be influenced by the power. Okay. Everyone sat back to consider his words and examine the agendas behind the offer. Oh, okay. I'm below this. Sorry, guys. I lost my point. I lost where I was reading at. At this point, I don't see any option but to accept this offer. It is slanted too far in our favor to decline without tipping our hand regarding the boy's heritage. If we choose to decline by announcing that heritage, I have no doubt Kumo, and especially Iwa, would react unfavorably. He announced with a heavy heart. We also need the boy to produce more Uzumaki as possible future containers for the Kyuubi, if not outright shinobi for our future ranks, Danzo added. But before he could continue, a heavy, potent killing intent flooded the room. You are going too far, Danzo. Hiruzen whispered with narrowed eyes. We already placed a heavy burden on him by making the Jinchuriki against his will, which he knows, mind you. He knows his heritage, and he knows that his father cursed him to this life. I think I can safely say on his behalf that he would sooner set the Kyuubi free rather than make his own progeny the jailer of the beast. Danzo grit his teeth. He will do what is asked of him by the village. Hiruzen snapped back. I have no intention of asking him to do that, and I'm sure that neither does the next Hokage. Remember, Danzo, he warned his rival. If you push him too far, you lose him. For him, his family will always come before the village. Until he becomes Hokage, that is, went unsaid. That went unsaid. That is what went unsaid. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Danzo put his blank mask on again, but inside he was seething. Uzumaki's children would have made some valuable additions to his ranks of the root, but it seemed Hiruzen wasn't willing to go that far. Looked like he would just have to wait a few years. Hiruzen turned to the council. Says, we are in agreement. Let us send our response. And that is the end of this chapter. I'm going to go to a little break. I need to clear my nose and drink some water and take a cough drop. Sorry, guys. I'm sick right now. It's rough out here in these. It's rough out here, man, you know, but I owe you guys this video. I'm going to edit this one up. This is the second time I'm recording this part. I pray, I hope, I just want this one to come out good. Because the last one, the audio was all messed up. It was all crackly and warbly, and it just was rough. So I'm really hoping this time that is not like that. So, yes. Without further ado, I'm going to catch y'all after the break. 3 days back, Sunagakure. Baki looked over with increasing annoyance as the meeting of Sunagakure's advisory council went on. His growing frustration was... Wait, what? What just happened? His growing frustration was mainly due to the tactless arguments, more like shouting, weren't arriving on any conclusive course of action. He tuned them out instead, choosing to focus on Tamari's report of her brother's defeat. It was a shock. It was a shock of great magnitude to him when he had heard that Gaara had been soundly defeated. He shook his head mentally. Just great. We have a situation that requires us to act as quickly and decisively as we can, and these fools can't seem to agree on anything. It was quite fortunate that the sand had managed to work out a ceasefire with the leaf, but Baki knew this was a temporary solution at best. Konoha would not hesitate to retaliate if any of Suna's shinobi so much as scowled at them. Tensions were high, and Suna needed something to convince Konoha of their sincerity in drawing up a new alliance treaty. Baki cringed as he thought about the report from the team stationed on the Wind-Earth borders. More than average number of Iwa shinobi had been showing up. While not up to anything, Baki would bet anything that Iwa was testing their borders, looking for any weaknesses. In the worst case scenario, Iwa would conquer Suna, which meant that they would practically be neighbors with Konoha. Given the history between those two countries, it could signal the start of a fourth great shinobi war. With a sigh, he took a sip of his steaming tea and calmed himself down a bit. While still trying to think of a way to regain Suna's military alliance with Konoha, absently he mentally recounted just how they lost. They invaded Konoha. Konoha was ready. Orochimaru attacked the Sandaime Hokage. Tamari and Kankuro took Gaara into the forest, followed by the Uchiha. Gaara went mad, unleashed Shukaku, stopped by a giant. The epiphany hit him with such a force that he almost spat his tea. Almost scrambling for Tamari's reports, he flipped through the pages until he found what he was looking for. Gaara was cleanly and efficiently defeated by Uzumaki, or is it Namikaze, Naruto. There was an answer in the epiphany he was looking for. Namikaze Naruto, son of the legendary Yondaime Hokage, a child of the Hokage, savior of the leaf. Pieces of a plan rapidly came together in a mind, forming a picture that was not the best solution, but perhaps the only solution they had at the moment. He stood up, clearing his throat to gather everyone's attention. Honorable members of the council, some new facts have come to my attention, and I believe I have found a solution to our current problems. He had the undivided attention of some of the most politically powerful people in Suna. He could not afford to go back now, nor could he afford to make a single miscalculation. As all of you may know, Iwa is currently testing on our borders. Our only solution to this problem is to somehow regain our alliance with Konoha. This is the only way we can buy enough time to recover from the loss of our forces. This is where our current problem stands. How do we prove to Konoha that we won't betray them again? A twinge of satisfaction rose up inside Baki as he saw the winces from several council members, reminding them that they had indeed betrayed Konoha, falling into Orochimaru's manipulations. Mutters were rising as the members considered his point. Baki took a deep breath and relaxed. The next statement was going to create tides. If I may have your attention once more, he spoke over the mutters, silencing them. I'm not finished yet. Before having an alliance with us, Konoha had an unshakable blank with another village. The village hidden in the whirlpools. We need to procure back that level of an alliance with our former ally. Yoshin, one of the more senior members of the council and one of the people who Baki actually respected for his relatively sensible argument, spoke up. How do you propose we do that, Baki? Baki stared dead in his eyes. We have to follow the same procedure that they did to achieve what they were able to achieve. Seeing some confused faces in the council, Baki elaborated. The alliance between Konoha and Uzushio Gakure no Sato was sealed by a marriage between the Shodai Hokage and a woman named Uzumaki Mito. The alliance lasted for decades until Uzushio Gakure fell to the combined attack of Kumo and Iwa. We can use that tradition to regain our alliance. We might be stronger than our previous one. He was pleased to see that some of the members were actually thinking upon this. However, one of them stood up, almost foaming at the mouth. Hiruto Renji, one of them, stood up, almost foaming at the mouth. Hiruto Renji was someone who always made Baki wonder just how he managed to get on the council. He was a hot-headed person, exploding over the smallest of arguments, and had none of the tact that was required to play the incredibly subtle game of politics. Also, he took utmost glee in pointing out faults at other members, while he himself never participated actively in any argument. Baki suspected that Renji feared looking too stupid. You can't possibly be serious. Look, you said only moments ago, he sneered, while
while saying we need to recover our forces from the invasion, which means we need every shinobi we have. Why would we offer one in the first place? Why would they accept in the first place either? Baki resisted the urge to rub his head at the moment. It would seem rather rude. I thought it was quite obvious, council member, that given the history between the two, Konoha cannot afford to have Iwa at the doorstep. Before Renji could blow up once again, another member spoke. Just what are you trying to tell us, Baki? Baki picked up the report written by Tamari of the fight that took place between Naruto and Gaara. I will summarize this for you, so you all don't have to read this, and it would take a long time for everyone to read it as well. Tamari stated in a report that Gaara was, quote, soundly defeated by a single Genin. Even after he had fully manifested his Biju, he almost rolled his eyes at the exaggerated reaction that followed. She stated that Uzumaki Naruto, the aforementioned Genin, could create water out of thin air and listened to this carefully. Flashed to places faster than she could even begin to follow. He briefly put the report down to add to his point. When I say flash, I mean it in a literal sense, council members. He resumed from where he left off. He then summoned a massive dark blue fox of all things with 7 tails that was almost as large as Shukaku. Baki looked up again. Now, we don't know why Uzumaki has a summoning contract for foxes, so could it be that he's the Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi? Everyone turned to look at the council member who said this. Baki thought hard about how to reply. The speculation was actually quite considerable. Why else would someone be able to summon foxes? It could be, Baki said slowly as to emphasize the point. But we don't have any evidence to substantiate that speculation. I have to stress on this council member, do not hold on to the speculation. For all we know, that boy could have stumbled upon it by accident. As I said, there was nothing that pointed towards Uzumaki having the Kyuubi inside of him. Not even a wisp of demonic chakra, as is the trademark feeling everyone gets when near a Jinchuriki. Baki was very uncomfortable with this topic, so he decided to move on. Moving on, a relatively recent report suggests that he is the apprentice to Jiraiya of the Sannin. They were both spotted traveling through a town together. Yoshin once again raised a valid argument. It could be that they were simply on a mission together. Nothing you say points towards the claim of him being an apprentice. Baki conceded to that point with a nod. Indeed, it could be that as well. But keep in mind that in the past, no reports have ever stated that Jiraiya-sama needed someone with him on a mission. Given how powerful he is, why would he allow anyone to travel with him unless they were being trained or taught by him? Also, he was highly proficient in Fuin Jutsu, just like Jiraiya is. Yoshino nodded thoughtfully and sat back down. Baki continued with his previous statement. As I was saying, he seems to be the apprentice to Jiraiya-sama. And speaking of apprentice, I believe you're all aware as to who the last apprentice of that man was. Thankfully, everyone nodded at the table. Baki rested his arms on the table. This was the crux of his argument. To those who were not present at the Chunin exams, which was everyone excluding himself, Uzumaki Naruto has been revealed to the world as Namikaze Minato's only child. He dropped the bomb on them. Waiting to see their reactions, they were just like he expected them to be. Most of the members' jaws dropped in disbelief. Some were even choking on air. A few sensible members, such as Yoshino, were taking deep breaths, trying to force rational thoughts as to how this was possible. Renji was the only one who was shaking his head, whispering under his breath, This can't be. A member asked after regaining their wits, Do you have any evidence to substantiate your claim? The question was asked The question was asked slowly. Sorry, I misspoke. For the member who still had difficulties believing the last revelation. Baki wordlessly picked up the file and flipped to the photo of Naruto. He then put up the file on the table in such a way that everyone would be able to see it. It only took a moment for everyone to connect the dots. Yoshino shook his head in slight awe. Looks like you're right, Baki. He really does look like his father. Baki added with a smirk. Not only that, he can use Haraishin no Jutsu just like his father. But what does this have to do with us regaining our alliance? Baki grinned as he put his proposal forward. It should be quite obvious by now. We offer Tamari in marriage as a gesture of good faith on our part. Renji frowned. Why Tamari? She's the daughter of our late Kage and is quite skilled. Couldn't we offer someone less significant? Baki looked at Renji, fully intent on shutting him up. Believe me, council member, when I say this. If we are going to offer a marriage proposal to someone as important as Namikaze Naruto, We have to ensure that the person from our side is of equal status to him. Naruto and Temari are both the children of Kage. Any children that would result from their marriage would be formidable shinobi when they grow up. We can insert a clause statement stating that their eldest child must become the liaison for both of our village after becoming a chunin. Oh, Lord. Sorry, it's loading. I don't have internet at my house right now. I mean, we're 14 minutes in. All right, listen. So, I guess I have to end this part here. The website is not loading the next part of the chapter. I have no internet at my house, so I'm kind of using my phone data to record this video and to hook it up to the computer so the computer can load. So I apologize. On Wednesday, I'll be getting internet at my new house. So we'll be able to Wednesday my time. I don't know what day it is or when I'm dropping this. I think it's Tuesday right now, Monday. It's one of them days. What day is today? Oh, it's actually Friday. Okay, so yeah, I have to wait till Wednesday. Lord have mercy. So yeah, I apologize for that. But I will be ending it right here. This is the first half of the video is pre-recorded at an earlier date, a way earlier date. So I apologize if some of the parts don't match up, you know. Not much I can do about that. However, I hope you guys enjoy this part. I hope you guys enjoy the whole video, honestly, in the series. I'm going to continue it. I don't intend to end it anytime soon. I want to finish the story, finish this book. We're almost done anyways, so I will finish it. I apologize for being on for so long. If you're interested in knowing what happened, you can always message me or comment. I try to respond to as many comments as I see. I think it's gotten to a point now where I cannot promise that I will respond to all comments because it's physically impossible. But I do try my best to respond to as many comments as I see. I really do. If I miss your comment, I apologize. It's a wholehearted accident. There's not much I can do about that. So yeah, without further ado, this is your boy the Anime Ambu, and I am out. Deuces.